What's up, guys? Welcome to this Friday recap. This may be one of the most granular, tactical Friday recaps we've done ever. In it, we dived into the problem of knowing exactly what to do first when you have an idea. You might have an idea that you've been thinking about for a year, 2 years, 5 years, but you've never really taken the first steps because you don't know what those first steps actually are. In this pod, we answer that question, and we also dive into a analog strategy, shall we call it, that we are implementing in one of our portfolio companies that is an absolute game changer. It costs you literally less than $3 to implement, that can put energy, action, and focus into any business. And the best part is you don't need to touch any digital device to implement it. So stick around for the second half of the pod to learn all about that. With that said, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe to it, make sure you leave a comment, and let's get into the pod. What is up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Unemployable. Great to have you with us here for this Friday recap. Marky Mark in the house. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well.
What's
Good
going on?
to be here.
Yep.
It's freezing in here because James has just come and turned the aircon down to
Fucking balmy, I'd say.
geez, he comes in overheating, I tell you.
Coming in hot. James Denham, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, mate, coming in hot by the sounds of it, but no, all good. It's a bit of a switch up on the Goldie here. It was nice to wake up to like a gale force, cyclonic winds and sideways sheeting rain. And
That's just what it feels like in the studio.
yeah, but not good.
We're not used to this weather, are we? We're like people in Dubai when it rains.
It's good though. It's good though to be able to pull a jacket out and rug up a little bit and have an indoors day, so to speak.
Mr. Machado, what's going on? Welcome to the pod.
Very good as always, mate. Every day is a good day, brother.
Are you as good as the Australian breakdancer? That's the question.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to comment on that.
Yes, you do.
I'm actually still processing.
Can you imagine if she tested positive to Molly or something? Because it wouldn't be fucking performance enhancing drugs, that's for sure.
Yeah. Something slipped through the cracks on that one.
Can you imagine the selectors? Obviously, there wasn't any said, yep, you're good to go. Like free flights to Paris, you got 2 weeks, fucking she's just sitting there going,
I'll tell you one thing. Whether it was on purpose or not, she's one famous woman now.
Well,
No, she's just fucked her life forever, period.
I don't know.
Wherever she
I don't know
goes
about
out.
that. I don't think so.
I mean, she might be able to turn it around because these days any publicity can be good publicity. But
Yeah.
what I think is amazing that we had our best Olympics ever, and the whole world is talking about that breakdancing kangaroo.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't be starting a dance school, that's for sure.
Her and Huck Tour girl have got 15 minutes of fame, and I think she'd be the most hated woman in breakdancing because they probably cancelled all future shows.
Well,
The crowd were pissing themselves laughing. Like, what the actual fuck is this?
I actually didn't realize that she actually didn't get 1 point.
All the judges gave her a 0.
I feel bad for her because I don't know whether it was if it was for real. I genuinely feel bad for her because she needs some new friends. I saw Simon Beard did a real job.
That was
this week.
great.
Yeah.
And I agree with his take on that we all need people around us that are willing to say, mate, you're going down the wrong path here. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And that's what happens. And we can see it now coaching a lot. You know, one of the hardest things in coaching is when people are paying you and you have to tell them that you don't like their idea. It's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And but it's also can be really life-saving to do as well. So I feel for her, and but I also, I think it was almost as funny as the cross they did to Los Angeles showing Venice Beach. And anybody's ever been to Venice Beach is going, that is not Venice
That is not Venice Beach.
That is a film set. Where's all the homelessness, the druggies, the Spider-Man jacking up in a trash can. Like, come on.
No wonder you lived there for 5-7 years.
Yeah, well, I had to make a living.
Came home loaded.
That way every so often I see you up front going...
I feel for the people on Spotify who couldn't see the action that went with that. Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, so with all of that Olympics banter out of the way, guys, I thought when go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we're laughing about it and we're making light of that situation, but that, like Simon said in his post, a lot of business ideas that we see are an exact representation of that performance. You just, no. and it's sad because sometimes people have put their whole life savings into that idea. So I really want to just reinforce that point that we really do need people around, especially if we bring it back to business, that are going to tell us when our idea is.
Yeah. I mean, I look back on some of my ideas and they were the equivalent of the sprinkler and the hopping kangaroo of business ideas.
Yeah, we've all been there.
We've all been there. We've all been there, and it's just it's a journey along the way. And it's why you really do need to get good people around you. So what I thought I'd do is I'd kick the conversation off. I know you guys have got some stuff as well, and I wanted to share a couple of things. So we got a lot of feedback, and we always get a lot of feedback when we get really practical and tactical, and we have something that people can take away and work with. And Mark, last Friday, you pushed us on saying, hey, like, how do you be more productive? Like literally grassroots, granular. And we talked about pen and paper, no distractions. James piped up and gave his morning coffee early in the morning, doing the hard thing first, all that sort of stuff. And always
do the hard thing first, Adam. For fuck's sake! Hey, listen. What I want to add in here is about the comments of last week, because last two sessions have been pretty heavy, pretty chewy, right? They've been pretty heavy going. There was one comment I read in there that said, "Look, it's all been great, but if banter at an all-time low, it was nearly unbearable. Like, enough of the heavy shit, at least have some fun." So Eric, you want to fucking clean the crosshairs again, mate?
There will be more banter today. Moving past doing the hard thing first. So when we got granular, a lot of people sort of wrote and said that was really good, because that's what we're looking for, is like next steps. And I did a coaching call yesterday, which I thought I'd share the broad strokes of, because I think a lot of people this would be really helpful for. So Stephen Bartlett has a concept. Those who don't know Stephen Bartlett, he runs a podcast called Diary of a CEO. It's the number one or number two business podcast in the world behind us. And
it's all in the delivery.
Yeah. We're knocking on his door.
we switch week to week.
If you see Stephen, tell him we're coming.
Yeah, exactly. So we he has a concept which he talked about when we saw him in Brisbane, which was having an ideas shelf. And the ideas shelf is that, most entrepreneurs are afflicted with this condition where we get so many ideas nonstop all the time. They come to us day, night, everywhere. And he says, get an ideas shelf, put them on the ideas shelf, whether it's a book or whether it's in your mind, but write them down is generally the best advice. And then what happens is, you then can go and look at that ideas shelf from time to time, and some of them will not leave you alone as ideas. And you just keep coming back to that one. So anyway, I had this conversation yesterday with one of our clients who has an ideas shelf in his mind. He didn't know to call it that until we had our chat yesterday, but he had this one idea, and I won't say what it is, but I will say, broadly speaking, let's say it's selling a product to fans of particular sporting teams, and it could be any sporting team around the world. So he was like, I just don't know what the next steps are. First of all, what do you think of the idea? And I'll just tell you the framework we always run ideas through, and it's Hormozi's framework, right? Which is, are you solving a real problem, feeding a starving crowd? Can that starving crowd afford the thing? Can you target them easily at scale online? And is it a growing marketplace? Those are the four things. So we quickly ran through the idea through that filter. I said, look, I don't know enough about the niche personally, but I could see that potentially would tick those four boxes. And he goes, all right, so what's the next step? So for all of you listening that have an idea, run it through that filter first with some friends to make sure you're not hopping around like a kangaroo and, doing the sprinkler and so on. So put it through those filters really, really, fairly rigorously before you go and do anything else, and make sure it passes those four things. And then that's where people get stuck. Or, they either start on a bad idea or they go, I think, but I don't know the next step. So we sat down and I said, well, look, how long have you had this idea? And he said, okay, 3 years. And I'm like, okay, let's see if we can find out in 1 month for under $3,000 whether we have product market fit. How does that sound? He's like, great. What do we actually do next? I said, well, we need to do a bunch of stuff. So first of all, we need to figure out how to reach the customer. So where are they? And he said, we can reach them through Meta, Facebook. Great. what are we going to do? We're going to run an ad that drives them to a website. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a landing page or a web page. We need to register a domain. We need to do a website page that needs to be fairly high quality, but not crazy, but not so low that it's going to affect the outcome. And then what we need to do is we need to run ads on Meta. We need to drive them to that page, and we're going to pretend that the product's real. So we're going to set it up to look like it's real, put in your name, put in your phone, your email, say, yes, I want to buy this for, let's say it's $60 and it's a recurring product. So click $60 and then the next page says, thank you so much. This is actually not a real business yet. We're just testing an idea. Thank you for participating. You're building a list, right? You're confirming what you've got and so on. And we can just find out, because if you can get basically that first sale, because it's all profit, basically what he sells. So I said, if you can get a customer, let's say it's $60, if you can get somebody to click that button for less than $60 in Facebook ads and you've got a recurring client, then you know that you've got a scalable business. And then you can come back to the community if you don't have the funds and say, guys, I've just spent $2,000 on Facebook ads and I've made $2,000 in indicative sales. And I need 10 grand to just bed this down a bit further, and I'll give up some equity to come and work with me. And he was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then there was more granular questions like, where would I get the website built? How would I make the videos for Meta? So I want to just show you quickly this thing. So Eric and I and a couple of other guys have got a business, consumer product, and we've been, this Sunday, I was up at 3:30 a.m. and I really wanted to master and see the limits of AI for user-generated content. And I wanted to really do some deep work on how to organize and attract user-generated content creators. So like when you've got, let's say you want to get 20 creators a week that are your product, you want to get it into the hands of 20 creators a week, how do you contact them? How do you identify them? How do you contact them? How do you send the stuff? What are the frameworks for coaching them on how you want the content to come back so that you can control the quality? Is it just vertical? Is it horizontal? I found a YouTuber who runs an agency in the UK, produces some incredible free YouTube content, which I was sending the boys at God knows what hour of the morning. So this guy has basically blueprinted everything for us. So I worked from 3:30 a.m. till about 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, just going deep on this stuff. By the end of the day, I was producing AI videos. I've set up softwares to manage workflows and all this stuff. And anyway, I wanted to show you this video that came out of a piece of software, and I'll link it back to this story because I know we've got an open loop here with this coaching client, and we'll come back to it. But I showed this to the coaching client as well. So this is a tool called ARCADS, ARCADS. So as in Noah's Ark and ads as in advertising. And what you do is you basically write a script, you cut and paste the script into that platform. There's about 50 actors of all different ages, nationalities, black, white people, Asian people, whatever you want. And you can see them read a bit and you click on them and then you play the voice. It'll play the voice for you, reading the script, and you can modify the script or you can speed them up. You can change the modulation in their voice, the expressiveness in their voice. When you're happy with how it sounds, you hit generate video and it says, all right, are you sure there's no typos? Are you sure you're happy with everything? Because we're now going to take one of your credits. You're going to pay at this point. It costs €100, which is about $160, I think, for 10 videos. So $16 a video. And that's the smallest pack. So I hit the button and this is what came out. So I made some much better ones for our product that we're launching. This one is I just made literally, I typed the script like sending a text message, maybe 2 minutes to write the script, and then maybe 5 minutes just getting the voice modulating slightly, and then I hit export. And I just want to play it for you so you can see. And this is a video made as if somebody had joined our coaching program and was giving us a testimonial. And then we'll talk about the capacity of it, and then we'll loop back and talk about how Neil can use it. So let me just load this up, and then we'll play it.
So it's been 6 weeks since I joined Unemployable coaching, and it's been an absolute game changer. It was one of those things that I intuitively knew would be good for me, but for some reason I just held back on making the commitment. My first call was with Eric, and in that one call, we were able to identify 3 things that have unlocked massive value in my business. In hindsight, they were blindingly obvious, but because I am so close to my business every day, I just missed them. I am now super excited about my business again and feel an energy that I haven't felt in years.
So that's the video. What do you guys think of that when you see that?
Wow.
I think it could be used for hell of a lot of evil too in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've just got to imagine some of the shit people have tried to make those actors say.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I think from the perspective of authenticity as well, getting back to if it's for a promo that's probably not going to be testimonial based, it would be amazing. But if it's somebody doing a testimonial and it's not actually legit, I'd probably err on the side of caution with that for sure. But I know as an example, but
No, you're right, 100%.
I think it's important to understand, why, because what I think a lot of people get stuck with is that procrastination or that, uncertainty what to do next. And when you introduced the conversation with the client that you had the coaching call with, you were basically trying to product market fit an idea. So if we're going out and we've got an idea and we want to see if user-generated content works for the idea, I think that's what these kind of AI-generated videos are perfect for, right? Like, whether you want to build your business on the back of entirely AI-generated videos that aren't actually real, well, then that's a separate question. But yeah, I think they have their purpose.
especially, I suppose, in that context there, if you have actually got the physical product in your hand, you've just got renders and use something like that and then ran traffic to it and you only ran $100 for the ads to see if they would buy it, sure. But then you'd go and get actual product in hand and of the influencer and do it in a legit fashion for sure.
Like the way I look at it is, where else are you going to get videos for $16 as an example, right? If you're getting 10 of them for 100
In an hour.
in an hour, right?
38, it's number 60 Goodwin Terrace.
Yeah, but but I honestly think AI is quite new still, right? And it's new to so many people that aren't even using it. We see it every day. We're, obviously with early bird and stuff, we're quite advanced in the stuff that we're seeing. So we're getting accustomed to it a little bit, even though it still scares the shit out of me at times. But I think moving forward with the advancements that we've seen in the last 6 months, like voice wasn't even a thing that was great 6 months ago in Australia. And now we're seeing videos like this. I honestly think it will replace human videos in the future because it's all about efficiency, like what Adam just said, in 1 hour. And he was learning, right, for the first couple hours. So imagine if Adam kept doing this as an actual job or a service, how good you could get these videos. In future, you will not know the difference. Hand on heart, I think you will not know the difference and the quality will be much better. Now, is it ethical? And that's a whole other different topic. But I think the quality that's going to be coming out of it, and I think, how we want raw content, right? That's what sells now, not the polished stuff. There'll be apps out there that'll make it as raw as you're going to want it to be.
I do agree. I do agree with what you're saying from the technical side of things, that it's going to get so good that it's, say, for example, I'm an influencer and I want to promote 5 or 6 different products. It's going to make no sense for me to go out there and make those videos, that I might as well just to scale my time, use the AI to create them. And I think what will probably end up happening, to your point, is your influencers will basically say, these are AI generated videos, but these are a list of products that I endorse.
Yeah.
And they'll scale their time and their ability to do videos in that kind of way. So that'll all work itself out. But I think the point that you're making is 100% accurate. The videos will get so good, it'd be silly not to use them.
That video is pretty, for the normal person who doesn't hang around in the AI circles too much, it would be pretty hard to pull that apart. I think a good use case for that would be someone like me who's doesn't really like the camera, but if you did do 1 or 2 voiceovers and whatnot, I could then generate my own ads for me promoting a product, and therefore it's not testimonial driven where it's bullshit. It's just me maximizing my time. And if I could pump out 10 ads in under an hour that are AI script written with me on camera, I mean, that's a game changer for me immediately.
I think what will happen is it'll get so good in the future, we will not know the difference. And that's the thing. You will not know if that was actually James or that was AI James, unless they come in and put in rulings that, and I know that they're doing
I
that
think they
already,
will.
right? Saying that they're
they
AI
will.
generated.
Ethical is going to be a huge part of it, because I don't think anybody disagrees. If you'd have to be a dummy to think, knowing where this was a year ago when you gave an AI prompt to generate an image, it was all messed up and there was 5 fingers and 6 fingers where there should be 5.
Kamala Harris's AI is still like that.
Yeah. So there's no doubt. So that's when the moral stuff comes in. And in my mind, there'll be no question that the platforms will make you, or they'll have algorithms that will tag AI videos as AI. And obviously at that moment, testimonials is not going to be a use case. But before we get down those rabbit holes, for all of you listening, this is what you need to take away immediately. ARCADS, ARCADS, or similar. You go and spend €100 and use the technology. There's no good of you guys sitting here on a podcast pontificating about the future of what this might be or that might be. Fucking use it. Because what I learned by using the tech taught me more about the tech than any amount of discussion around a table. Because like the first script I wrote, for example, was like talking about the product. And then it didn't work, and it didn't occur to me why it didn't work. I looked, I was like, this just doesn't work. It's because the setting that these AIs are in are testimonial settings. People giving testimonials like you wouldn't describe your company from a car. Do you know what I mean? But you would have a customer describe their experience with a product from a car. So there's all these subtle things that when you actually go down and use these things, you start to go, oh my God, okay, I can see now. And your knowledge base, real knowledge, as opposed to objective discussion about it, changes. And so if you're an entrepreneur, and I assume you either are or want to be, because what I said to this coaching client is, the reason I loved this is because that now on that platform, they had people in cars, people in front of brick walls, people walking. So you could be doing a testimonial like this, but some of them weren't testimonial settings. They were actually presentation settings. What I love about this is because, James, most people are you. Most people are afraid of the camera. Most people don't, well, you have the budget, but most people don't have the budget for a video shoot and all those things. But they could sit there and write a pretty decent script, or they could go to ChatGPT and write a pretty decent script.
Or one step further, again, getting back to what are the next actions to the coaching customer or coaching client with their idea. It's okay, go find 10 of your competitors, look at all their ads, transcribe their ads, drop them in there with you with a picture, and then you fucking know it's you on the screen with the ad that you don't even guess about the content. Because if you look at the common theme between 10 ads, you work out pretty quickly with what scripts work, what settings work, and then just go and replicate that.
We did exactly that. On Sunday morning, as part of my work, I opened a Google sheet because this guy in the
Facebook
UK,
ads library.
Yeah, the guy in the UK who runs this agency said one of the things we do is marketplace listening before we do any ads for a client. So with the product that we're launching, I looked at any products who solve that problem, whether that was the same product, but the same outcome, because it solves the same problem. There's a number of ways to solve this problem. So I looked at their Amazon reviews and I grabbed the 1-star reviews and the 5-star reviews, and I was looking for sentences that I could turn into headlines for ads. Like, I hate this product because it does this. I hate this product because it did that. Or I love this product because it did this or did that. And those become, in your sales copy and in your videos, the actual words that you use. So what if this product did all these great things that were actual real customers' words, but didn't do all these bad things which are from one review?
And if you listen to Hermosians, and for guys out there who don't know who Alex Hermosi is, you haven't listened to the pod at all, he gets a mention every single session, is that no one's ever invented anything brand new, pretty much, except for Elon on a car. But so there are, do you have market competitors? There's no reason why you can't go and do that market listening on anything at all that 99% of the people listening to this pod are trying to bring to market.
Yeah, most things are new products, but same problem, right? That's just new spin on a different problem,
Totally.
same problem.
So for the audience, you guys say it very quickly, going, yeah, just check out their ads and go here and go there. Where do you actually go, right, to Facebook ads library? What do you put in? Can you just type in anyone's details? All their ads are live.
Absolutely. I mean, and you go to Facebook ads library, just Google it, click it, and you'll go ads displaying in Australia, all ads, and you go in there and go to MX store or whatever, and it'll bring up all the MX store availability. You go, oh, that's the MX store I'm after. Click in there, click bang, it'll pull all the ads down. It'll show you all the creative, all the videos, everything you can possibly see, how many they're running, how long they've been running for, ones that have been paused, so you can see, that one obviously failed, or was it a campaign around a certain sale? You can just, if you spend half an hour in someone else's ads library, if they've got half an hour's worth of content to consume, you can fucking see a pretty good blueprint about how the business runs.
For anyone that doesn't know that, that's gold, eh? Like honestly,
you can-
that is
100%.
unbelievable.
You can also do it. It's quite simple to do with Google as well. It's not difficult to do.
Unbelievable
To go and
golden
see other ads by this sponsor, whatever. Click on that. It pulls their whole ad library off Google as well. So there's no shortage of ads.
Can we back up a step? Because I feel like every single podcast we come up with a gem, a golden nugget like that. And for the person at home listening that, I've had a couple of conversations this week, people who aren't nurses, people who are in other professions, kind of watching all the content, reading all the books, hearing all the hacks, and then not sure where to start. And it's because they're getting delivered so much great content and so many great ways to do things these days. You woke up at 3:30 in the morning, or you found that person on YouTube. I want to go back to the point where you decided, here's what I need to learn, and here's how I'm going to go about learning it. Because it sounds good when we're going around and saying, okay, there's the ads library and do this, do that. But a lot of people are like, where do I start with this idea?
Here's where you start, Mark, because this is a great question, and it's a really simple answer. My former business partner, Joe, always used to say this: never start with a blank piece of paper. And that, what he means by that is, never assume that you're the first person to ever have this problem. You're not, right? So if you understand that, and you understand the way the world works now, if you don't know something, if you have a knowledge gap where you go, I need to, surely people have had to get UGC content at scale before, which is the problem we're facing, because we have a product that's really low cost. We want to get it in the hands of a lot of UGC influencers. How do I find them? What are the strategies to find them? I wrote down all the things. How do I actually find them? How do I contact them? How do I manage them in a workflow? So if I've got 50 samples I've sent out, how do I know what I've sent to who? And I've been saying this to Ash, my business partner, let's try and make some UGC content ourselves, because it's not until we try to make a UGC video using the product that we will discover all the little things that we don't actually know yet. Like, where's the lighting got to be? How's the sound? What angles do we need to shoot from? How does it look when you produce it in the end? Is it a cohesive story? What's the structure got to be? It's only by doing. So we're about to shoot some ads for Early Bird this week, and I had to write the scripts. And it wasn't until I actually sat down and spent 4 hours writing the scripts and thinking through and seeing it form that I realized, I had to make some serious adjustments. So what I'm to just close the loop on that question, you write down all the things you don't know, and then you go to YouTube and you write in, how do you do long string like that? Boom.
That sounds so simple, but sometimes we just forget that first initial domino is just, how do I do this?
I think it's just get off your ass to start with.
No, James, it's not that.
Let me finish.
It's not that, because I'm sitting here asking the same question sometimes, and I'm off my ass trying to make things happen.
Off your ass on the wrong things.
Exactly.
Reading another book.
Exactly. So sometimes you need to dumb it down.
James.
I was just going to say, but get back to it's about get off your ass, so just leave that there. About what you said online, that you're not the first person to go and search for this stuff. You recall back to Instagenius, what you've just described there, I put together for that Empire & Co brand with full management, full automation, and that whole process was ironed out with it. And then I put together a full brief, which was done by a designer off Upwork to make it look fucking amazing. And it was a bullet point, step 1, step 2, this voice, and obviously no drinking wine, no cigarettes, all the do's, the don'ts, and the timeline when it had to be produced, when what was it, landscape, was it portrait, even created an automatic Google, like a ping pong ball machine. It'd go, once you've uploaded it, it would notify me that the content's been delivered into an inbox. It was a full automated system. So I mean, that information, again, for me on YouTube 4 years ago.
It's been there for ages, and you just can't start. So many people try to figure it out the slow way, and I found this brilliant guy in the UK. Richard, can you take a note to ask me afterwards and I'll give you the account and we'll put it in the show notes, and make sure Perry puts it in the show notes, because what he is teaching is it's actually a real agency owner sharing the actual tools that he uses to manage this for multiple clients at scale. And the tools out there, when you start looking, like one I just want to mention before it slips away from me, is we mentioned Facebook Ads Library. That's essential, right? You can literally go and see, like I was looking at High Smiles ads because I'm shooting ads and I want the same level of engagement and I study High Smile. I study some of these things. But like, for example, TikTok now, not like with that Facebook ad library, you can see the ads. There is software like Collar Data. Now, I haven't used it yet, but I think it's K-A-L-O-D-A-T-A, Fast Moss and Shop Plus for TikTok, which not only can you see the ads that content creators have made, but it shows you the revenue of sales that have been made on TikTok shops with that ad. So you can not only, so what I'm saying is, when you know that Arcad sits over to the side here, and then you know that ad on TikTok, which is a piece of user generated content, crushed, then if you can't work it out from there, you give it up.
So it's like, just correct me if I'm wrong, it's like a Zonguru. You can actually go and see the competitors' ads and see what revenue they've generated off that ad.
On TikTok shops. Oh. It's like ridiculous.
Shut the gate.
Yeah, because we had a presentation the other week in our private coaching group with the TikTok expert, and he showed us this. And he showed us that he said, this ad here did $450,000 in the last 10 days. And you're like, what? We were all going, how did you know the number? Do you know the owner? No, we use these tools. And I'm like, and the tools tell you the revenue? Yes. You're like, oh my God. So you get to see the product, the creative that sold the product, and the real numbers before you. It's a bit like Amazon, with Zonguru, you can see the product and how much it's making, but you don't necessarily see all the ads. This has sort of closed the entire loop. So I think it is a fair point, Mark, that you're saying people don't necessarily, but know what to do. But when I get
they don't know the right. I think what I was getting at, they don't know. It's sometimes people are willing to put in the work, but they don't know the right question to ask. They're just as simple as putting the right question into YouTube sometimes.
So to close the loop with the client, I said to him, so let's map this out in our brain. We know what you want to sell. We know who you want to sell it to, sports fans. They're highly targetable. So let's say you want to sell to Manchester United fans. That's going to be pretty easy to target a Manchester United fan. So what else do we need? Well, we need an offer. So we're going to need to write a page. We're going to need graphic designer, web designer to build a one-page website. So I gave him our guy that we use, Rockstar Web Design in the Philippines. I said, contact them, do a sales page, look at some really compelling websites that have, sell similar things and see how they're structured. Look at LMCT or, whatever it is that's similar to what you're doing. So we need the copy, we need a web designer, we need some Facebook ads. So let's go to Facebook Ads Library. You need to go and learn how to make some Facebook ads. So go to this guy, which we're going to put in the show notes, and study, or just how to make compelling Facebook ads in YouTube, or Facebook ads. What's the structure of a Facebook ad that's going to win? And I said, at the end of this, we're going to spend maybe $1,000 on the website. We're going to spend $2,000 on traffic, and you've spent $3,000. And we are going to know then whether or not this works. And we're going to find all this out in the next 30 days. And here's the kicker. If it doesn't work, you have now learned all the plumbing.
I think
you've learned how to use, and the video on the page, we can use Arcad. You're going to learn to use AI. You're going to learn to use ChatGPT to help you write the site. You're going to learn to use Arcads. You're going to have learned about Facebook Ad Library, and this is going to be. And I'll close one last thing. He said, he was hurt by a previous business, like where he lost a lot of money, and he's got a business now that's doing well. But he said, I know I'm not meant to be here. And he said, it just seems so far out in the distance. And I said, and I know it's got to be all in or nothing. Do you think I should just go all in on this idea? And I said, no. I said, the problem is right now you're in the cave and you're looking up through this tiny little hole of light, and inside you have the capability to get to the top of that mountain, but it seems so overwhelmingly too far. And again, Joe, my ex-business partner, talked about this a lot because it happened with him as well, about taking the first step. And so I said, let's just, instead of saying, is this business idea big enough to get me to the moon? That's too big a question that is going to cripple you and you're not going to start.
Yes.
What we want to do is say, is this business idea can I just validate this business idea as a first step? And if so, what are the things I can do in the next 30 days? And let's make a 30-day plan.
I think that's what you're really, really good at. You're really, really good at cutting away the noise and zoning in on the thing that you need to understand for the next 30 days. And that's what I was getting at. Like,
and being prepared to, this may not work.
Yeah. And a lot of people are watching all the podcasts on all the genres, marketing, sales, ad, whatever. But sometimes you just need to push it all to the side and zero in on the one thing, which is the next step, just the next step.
Enough proof, find out what the linchpin is. Because I said to him, if you can get a customer from Meta that's a Manchester United fan to see that offer, the video might be AI, but he won't know because he's not close to it. And, it doesn't have to be a testimonial. It can just be explaining what it is. There's a video, there's an offer, yes, I want this, buy now. If you can just validate that you can get somebody to click that buy now button to spend as much or less, so as much more slightly more than what it costs you to get that almost sale, there you go. Holy shit, this could potentially be something.
And it comes back to that. I was just listening to the Carl and Way up in the pod about it doesn't matter what stage your business in. Is it an ideation stage, not too sure what to do stage? Is it a business that's currently operating or on the decline? It's what's the number one you call a linchpin? How Mosey calls it a constraint. Cool. If you actually can work out and iron out what's the main constraint, in this case, it might have been how to run Facebook ads. What's the number one thing, the biggest, and you write them all down and you go, that one, that's your decision-making tree, then get off your ass and go and find out how to do it. So it's just asking that question, what's the one thing that is the major constraint that's stopping you from working out what I need to do? I'll work it out and go and fucking solve it.
What is the one problem that I need to solve here?
The major constraint. What's the blockage?
And who's someone who's solved it? Then I
It
can
comes back to, jokes aside, doing the hard thing first, because the constraint is, and again, and this is why I want everyone listening here, every week we drop these nuggets. But if you didn't go to Facebook or Ads Library, because we've had this discussion before, if you haven't gone, or while you're listening to this, if you're sitting at home, you're not opened another tab and opened up Facebook Ads Library, I've never seen this. You are asleep at the wheel. You are an NPC, non-playing character. You are a listening character and your life ain't going to change. It is only when, and I said to this guy last night, you're going to go over to Arcads and you're going to get to that point where it says it's €100 for 10 videos. And then all this shit's going to pop up like, oh, maybe I'll come and do this later. Bro, it's your life that's ticking by. Sooner or later.
Learning new skills isn't easy, especially for people like, I've got fucking ADHD to sit at a screen and sit there and go, I've got to learn this whole new skill. It's like, fuck, I can't even stare at 5 minutes on Instagram long enough. Let alone sit there. And that's the hard work I'm talking about, is going, you've got to just fucking pin the ears back and do the hard work. And skill, it's called getting off your ass.
What's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this podcast. Now, I wanted to let you know about something very special that is happening on Wednesday, the 21st of August. We are doing an AI webinar with our podcast sponsor, Early Bird AI. And the reason we're doing this webinar is because there has been some significant shifts forward in the world of AI, and in particular, what is available for you as a small business owner right now in this space. Myself, I've been using this in 2 of my portfolio companies. The impact is profound. And if you are in business, you are going to want to see this. We've been doing implementations at Early Bird for medical centers, for retailers, for e-commerce sellers, for all kinds of companies right across the spectrum, from early companies that are just starting up to large publicly traded companies. So guys, if you are in business and you do not want to be left behind by artificial intelligence, get to this emergency briefing that's happening on Wednesday, the 21st of August at 7 p.m. Just go to unemployable.com.au/events. That's unemployable.com.au/events. The webinar is completely free. We're going to have Chris from Early Bird in, especially just to brief everyone in our community about what's happening in the space. It is going to be an amazing session, and it's totally free, only for Unemployable listeners. With that said, let's get back to the pod. I mean, people looked at me when I had a coffee meeting, and I'd made about 4 of those videos, and I texted a few around. Sorry, Eric, I'm going to let you talk in a sec. And I had a coffee meeting, and I went to a guy, said, hey, look at that, because I was really proud of what I'd just done. I'd never done an AI video like that before. I used Arcads, I learned CapCut. So I made it in Arcads, and then I edited it quickly. There's a little app called CapCut. It's the best. All the influencers use it on their phones to edit. And I was at breakfast with a guy, and I said, hey, look at that. And I texted it to Eric, and they're like, holy shit, bro. And people think you're a genius But all you've done is spent 2 hours, and I'm 50, and I'm learning about how to make an AI video at 3:30 in the morning on a Sunday. What's your excuse, right? Like, you've just got to make the time and effort. Eric, sorry.
I just want to thank James for that other golden nugget that you got ADHD. I didn't know that, actually.
Unmedicated at the moment too, by the way, so fucking look out.
I think it goes deeper, right? I think it's people need to have the confidence, right? And I think a lot of people feel unqualified to be doing this type of work. And I noticed something yesterday. We had a coaching call, and I brought Corey on, who runs our brands division at MX, and he's been doing it for well over 9 years. And when I asked him to come on the call, he's like, bro, I'm not qualified. I haven't done this before. What do you mean? I'm like, don't worry. You don't have to have this beautiful presentation. Just come and teach us, right? Teach what you do and speak about what you're doing. And I think a lot of people, they're just, the mindset is so scarce, and it's about failure, that they think that what they're going to be doing is not good enough, right? I felt like that in the past. And I think no matter what you're doing, you can always be doing it better. There will always be someone else making a better ad than you. There's someone else putting in a better prompt than you. But the key is to just get started. Like, I've learned so much just surrounding myself with Adam as an example, as a business partner over the last while, and the way he works and how fast he works. What people need to realize, just because Adam works that fast or James works that fast, don't think you need to work that fast. Work at your pace, right? But the key is work. If it takes you a week and it takes Adam 2 hours, that's fine. But at least you're progressing. And then that 1 week, you can do it in 3 days, and then you can do it in 1 day. We got to realize that we've been doing business for a long, long time. For someone that's listening to this on the other side, that's got this great idea and they've had failures, or they're new in business, it's very overwhelming for them.
100%.
You know?
That's
and
what I was getting at.
half the battle is, like Adam said, is taking action. Is like, there's so many golden nuggets. And I'll give you one small example, and it's got nothing to do with business. And it's without sounding wankerish. Right, we're going overseas.
That'll
right?
be tough.
I can
Yeah.
Right.
We're going overseas, planning a trip, right? And it's first world problems, but planning a trip is work. We're not just spontaneous. We got kids. We got to know where we're going. We got what trains we're going to go on, flights.
It's more work.
Right, it's fucking a lot of work. And before, I'd pull out, right, a calendar and. Wow, this
I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna get this.
Is there a camera that just got that? Please. So for anyone that didn't see that, Adam was literally doing a bear crawl underneath the camera,
prancing like a little Siamese cat
to get out of the studio to go do whatever he needs to do. You got it. You got to get that on there, please.
That is staying in.
That is amazing.
Definitely.
Right. So planning a trip, and what we usually do is get out the pen and paper, right? And Google and start researching. What do you recommend? And James, not long ago, taught me a little bit about ChatGPT. Obviously, I knew ChatGPT, and how he was using it. So now, this time around, it's like we're a family of 4, 2 young girls going to this place for the first time, there for 4 days. Please, send me an itinerary that you would recommend of all the key spots, and also if we just want to chill for a couple of days. And ChatGPT is and I'm like, instant. That for me saved me so much time. As an example, nothing to do with business, but that's a little golden nugget that I implemented. Then I'm like, hey, Jen, check this out. You go ahead. We want to see that again. Right? But you're implementing it. And it's like we talk about, these aren't all new ideas sometimes. Sometimes we're repeating ourselves in different podcasts and stuff. But like you said, Adam, if you haven't opened up Facebook ads library, or you haven't went to YouTube as an example and typed in that question, how do I do this, or how do I do that? YouTube is the most underrated platform. Yeah, everything is there. There is nothing that is in your mind that I can guarantee you is not on YouTube.
And can I just to add a bit more color to that as well? to your question or statement before about, where do we start? And just to smooth this out a little bit, is ChatGPT is free. So I've got this product, and if you go to Google prompt engineering, and they go, okay, I've got this product. Here's what I intend to do. I want to, where do I start? Put this in a chronological order of the steps I need to take to complete this project. Then I'll go step one, maybe go for Facebook, whatever it is, and then go great and grab step one and go now. Please elaborate and tell me everything I need to know. Treat me as a completely nonce about this and give me every detail to an expert level on step one. It'll go, you just grab that, copy paste.
So asking ChatGPT to be your coach.
Exactly. Get it to coach. So there's no excuse, and ChatGPT is free.
This is why I ask these questions, right? Because I think that your sport is, and any good entrepreneur's sport is being able to problem solve, is being able to find the constraint and remove it quickly. Like, that is your sport. That is your skill. That is what you're good at. It's not that you're good at marketing or you're good at sales. You're good at being able to find the constraints, remove them, and problem solve. People who are watching this show, and even myself, I've only been really in business the last 4 years, and before that I was a salesperson selling land. I'm not as conditioned to do that each and every day. I'm starting to learn to become a better problem solver. You just made a great point. Now you've got a tool out there that's free that can take all the best problem solvers in the world and give them the answer of what they would give you the answer of what they would do. And that's why I'm asking these questions, to get to how do people make the shift, the mindset shift, or how do they really understand which sport that they've really been playing and which one that they need to play now in order to win, right?
You look at the Olympics.
Get beyond just do the work.
Right. You look at the Olympics that we all just watched, right? And like, people are training their entire life to become a medalist, right? Like, you look at Adam, myself, James, we've been training for a long time in business and making mistakes and showing up. But those people, to win a gold medal, they're showing up every single day in, day out. They're going to train better some days. Some days they're not going to train, they're not going to want to get up and train. But the thing is, it's progression. A lot of people that I talk to, they're trying to find this golden bullet, of an answer or an idea that no one else knows. And like James said before, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just trying to get to a path in a shorter amount of time as possible. And that's why there's so many golden nuggets in these podcasts, and even for us and with the coaching we do and the podcasts where we interview others, the amount of learning, right, that I've had over the last 6 months has been astronomical. But again, it's implementing the things that you learn, and that's what most people will not do. They'll listen to this, right? Some of them won't be listening, some of them will be listening, but at the same time, they will not go and open up Facebook ads library for whatever reason, the story, the mindset, the fear of failure. I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough.
I'll go a step further for you, and I reckon you're 100% right. Do you remember the old Anthony Robbins? Be, do, have. You do the thing, you have the thing.
Yeah.
I think you've just hit on the point. It starts at the be. So if you're having trouble doing the thing, or if there's a block that's not allowing you to get off your butt and you're not doing the work, you've got to go back and identify the be. Well, who am I now? Who do I want to be? Because you be that person. I am an Olympian. I am a business person who solves problems. Then you'll do the thing. Yeah. So it's about changing that identity.
Yeah. The other, I think, nugget when I try to unpack what I did on Sunday is I share what I learn. So I don't just learn what I learn. I do what I learn, and then I share it with key other people around me. And I texted the videos to other entrepreneurs. I didn't just keep it on my phone to myself. So I texted it to Eric and to a few people. And that raises the energy level, and then and it also gets the knowledge into the other heads of people around my projects, around what's possible. So that's really good. And when I look at that video that I was studying, I've still got it open on a tab in here because I haven't finished it. It's an hour and a half or an hour and a half session where I'm stopping it, and then I'm actually going. When he mentions a piece of software, I go to that piece of software and I open a free account. I leave that tab open until I've got half an hour. And then what I do is I have my calendar open, And with that piece of software like Callow Data, I have it in my calendar to have 30 minutes of Callow Data learning time. Like Patrick Bet-David said something interesting. He said, people all the time say, how do you know if somebody's going to be successful? He said, oh, it's easy. And you go, well, how? He goes, I look at the logbook of success. And you're like, well, what's the logbook? He says, their calendar. Show me their calendar. How many sales appointments are they doing? Don't tell me the story. Don't tell me how many books you're reading. How many actual sales appointments do you have in your calendar for the last 30 days? There it is. That's the logbook.
Action items.
Action items. So and most people go, oh, I've got to do Calendar, but they're listening to this and then they're at the same time driving. They're not taking notes. They're not actually, I've got an Asana or some note-taking thing where they go, okay, I'm going to action these things. I actually take it not just onto a list, but I go to my calendar and say 30 minutes this time, and I lock the time in, and that's in my diary. Nobody can book a coaching call because I've got to study that piece of software. And quite often those things are early in the morning, like on a Sunday morning or da-da-da-da. But after a year, all of a sudden, people look at you like you're a rock star, but it's just that you turned up to the gym every day and you watched your diet and you lifted the weights.
Back to Eric's point before about second guessing yourself, and over time, I second guess myself every fucking day. Like it's not, and especially when you're learning something new, it's like, I'm not too sure. I don't know where. I have the same feelings, the same inhibitions, the same whatever. Just go through. Cool. Let's go find the answer is there.
It is.
Always.
And one of the things I learned, like what I had to write, I said, okay, you got to manually write. This is what the coach, the UK guy said. And this guy's only young. He'd be 25. You'll see it in the video. He said, go through once you've done the market listening and write 25 hooks or headlines for your videos, Facebook videos yourself, that try to bring together this format, like where you literally use words from real reviews of real customers. Once you've done that, and only once you've done that, go to OpenAI or ChatGPT and write this prompt. This is the prompt we use in our agency. Here's the product what we sell. Here are 10 things that customers don't like about the product. Here's 10 things that people do love about great products. And I want you to write me 50 headlines for meta ads in the voice of David Ogilvy, who's one of the most famous, one of the most famous ad writers, who basically identifies a pain point, twists the knife on it, and amplifies the pain point, and then articulates the solution. Like he's the godfather of copywriting. And then just give me, he says, write me a full Facebook ad headline, but also add script as a second prompt. So get the headlines, and then it says, and it literally, like after you've just spent, and this is the genius of what he said, after you've spent an hour agonizing over 25 headlines, not 2, not 5, 25, and then you watch ChatGPT just smoke you, like, I mean, destroy your best efforts. That's when you have that real learning moment of, holy shit, AI is changing the world. Yeah. It's one, and that's why I said, with the F word strongly in front of it, go to ArcAds and use it, because it's not until you really use it properly. Everybody's sitting there with their thumb up their ass or with an opinion. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what your opinion is if you haven't actually used it in a real either business or a business that's on the ideas shelf, and you see how quickly you can take something off the ideas shelf and into the world of reality at a very high level for very little money with all of your, I can't copyright ChatGPT. I can't be on video, ArcAds. I don't know how to do it. YouTube. Yeah. Stop being a little bitch.
Exactly, to the point. And it's not just when you go to ArcAds or and go there and read the web page and watch the 5-minute intro trailer, read the pricing and terms, and then walk away. It's that. Start opening an account and put your credit card out, and then you fucking invested in it.
And make your first video, which will suck, and then go, why didn't that first video look good? And then go, okay, I look again at your Facebook ad library, and I noticed that the ads that I was modeling, they were cutting in close and out. They were like, they weren't just fixed for 60 seconds in one shot. They would cut into James, then out from James, then into James, and they had B-roll. I'm like, how do I do? I go, how do I make a video? How do I edit a video on my phone to do that? Boom, CapCut. YouTube, how do you use CapCut? 5-minute tutorial on CapCut. Right, now I've got this video. I import it to CapCut. Boom, 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 and I'm like, holy shit, that's like way better. And then I look again, oh, I haven't put the B-roll in. Oh, I've left the captions out because I had my golden sample, because I was serious and I didn't have a distraction. I'm looking at High Smile, best in the class, right? I'm looking at TikToks that I go to TikTok, and I go to Instagram, I go top performing reels, and then I click on them and I go, okay, that's great. I don't know why it's great yet, but I'm going to try and replicate it. And then in like literally 2 hours, you go from like a complete amateur to something that people look at you like you're a god.
And never been able to do that so quick.
Yeah, and not only that though, what I think there's another massive value piece here that may have been overlooked so far is now you've done it, you can write a brief to the person you're going to hire to go and do it for the rest of your life. So you've learned it and you can leverage that and it goes out. If you're talking to an agency, you go, here's how I do my ads and I want you to do them as well. And you've created your own brief that is fucking so powerful and an SOP, if you will, and valuable in any, well, if you're going to be using that technology in any business.
It's like, yes, exactly. And it's like with the gym in many ways, people go, you're just so passionate about the gym. Yeah, because I feel great because I'm doing the work. When you like, energy comes from progress. And when you go and make that video, you get genuinely excited. And I'm actually really excited about going back to my next deep work session. And I've got energy for it because I put a vote in for my future self that is grounded in reality. One little thing that got me excited was it gave me 50 headlines in less than a minute. I'm like, okay, now I need to put these into the spreadsheet for the guys. But when I was like copying them all, it kind of wouldn't edit properly. I said, can you, it's ChatGPT, can you make those into a CSV file for me? No problem. Boom. And then it made a CSV file. Now, I know for people listening to this who are into OpenAI and ChatGPT, go, duh. And I'm like, I didn't know that. And then it just gives me this little downloadable CSV file, which I just dump straight into the spreadsheet. I'm like, oh my God, in 1 minute, I got 50 headlines and they're now in my shared Google spreadsheet. It's so powerful.
And that's another thing with the user generated content, right? Like that's, do you not use AI to test the 50 different opening 2-second clips of a user generated content?
Oh, I've got them organized.
Like all you could do is change the first 3 seconds.
This is what the guy said in the spreadsheet. You have your AI headlines and you have a section that says AI headlines and then human headlines. And then you split test, so all videos have a hook, a body, and then a call to action. And so it was just mind blowing. And we're using, and then I did the same process for these videos, these meta ads we're shooting for Early Bird, where we're going to have 5 different headlines, but they're going to be shot in 3 different locations. So the actor who's doing them, a real actor, not an AI actor, he comes in Wednesday morning, we're going to shoot the 5 headlines there. They're only 1-sentence headlines. And then we're going to move him to a different place with a different shirt. And then we're going to put him into a different spot with a different shirt again. So we've got 15 headlines now. And then we've got 6 product demos. And then we've got 1 call to action. But basically when you got 5 versions of, of 5 headlines, 3 versions of 5 headlines, you've got 15 versions of headlines, 5 versions of body, worth it out. You got like 60 or 90 videos or something. And it's all shot modular. It's very powerful.
I think it's being aware too, right? Like always having awareness. I'll give you a small little example. We're at Early Bird yesterday. And you have Chris and Josh there, and you have Jansen, the videographer, right? And they're starting to put up the Post-it notes, right? With all their ideas and mapping up the webinar and all that stuff. And so there's Eric, right? Obviously not a professional videographer with my phone. And I'm literally, okay, all right, Chris, you ready? And I'm just like, okay. And asking him questions. So what are you doing this for? What's this? Why are you doing that? In this video. Yeah, and he's explaining it, right? And then there's my video. And then Chance is like, all right, my turn? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, and then he's literally, all right, Chris, and he's going in and out and left to right, and then in Josh's face, and then flips it around, and I'm like, man, what's this guy doing? How's this even going to look good? And then he shows me the video after, I'm like, fuck. Like,
super engaging.
Fucking engaging. Like then you see mine, it's like, man, I wouldn't watch mine either. But again, it's just being aware of these little, like I just had that 30 seconds, I'm like, wow, I need to start implementing some of that stuff in my videos, because now I know why my videos aren't going to be as engaging as someone like Jansen's, because obviously he's a videographer. But again, it's being aware. I could have just sat there, oh, that's cool, and just went on my way. But I'm like, click, light bulb.
Yeah, I always say, like I had a model I used to teach called Vision, Standards, Recruitment. So what is the vision for the commercial you're shooting? What is the vision for the piece of content you're about to make? I want to be the best. What other fucking vision is there? What, you want to be B grade? You want to be C grade? That's not why you're here. You want to be, okay, so you go to YouTube. How do I make the best, most highest converting, most engaging, most sticky TikTok, YouTube videos, whatever. And then you go and study. So vision, standards are it's got to be there, and you got to recruit the right people. And these days, you recruit them on YouTube. You recruit those experts who train you. I want to close with one last thing, open it up for discussion. And we were sitting at Early Bird for our meeting, and there's all these projects that we're working on. Like the website is about to be attacked on as a project. Like at the moment, it's a type form, literally. We're about to do a new website. There's these commercials and there's these other things that need to be done. Like the website, just for one example, I said, guys, let me just show you that, like, what a really good website looks like. And I say really good for a small business. So I went to DryFlush and I opened up the DryFlush website, which we've just launched the new one a few weeks ago. I said, on the surface, you just look at that and go, it's just a website. I said, all right, but look how many videos there are on. We've got a professional video where we've got a tent and we've got a toilet and we've got 2 actresses and we shot that up on the Spit on the Gold Coast. Then we've got one that's down at the marina where we've got the actresses and we've got it in front of a sailing yacht. Then we've got it in a bedroom showing it with a bed frame and a commode. Then you look at all the logos from BHP to the West Australian government. Then you look at all the photos that are taken in the studio. Then you look at all the photos that are taken in the American manufacturer's plant, which we commissioned and had done. So on the surface, it's just a website. But the reason that website's converting so well and looks so professional is a lot of goddamn work, right? Every photo on there of me or any key people, they're wearing a DryFlush t-shirt. So somebody had to print the t-shirt, ship the t-shirt, organize a photographer. I sent photographers to the factory in Connecticut in the US because they couldn't get it to the standard I wanted. So I sent my own photographers there, did it through snapper.com, cost for $300 for 300 photos, right? Professional, cheap. But again, I went, how do I get professional photos really cheap at scale? YouTube, Google, boom, Snapper, right? Mm-hmm. Problem solved. So I said, we've got, that's a project. So I said, this is what we're going to do from now on. This place is too neat. It's too clean. There's all this wall space and you've got all your to-do list organized in some Asana folder that's in your thing. I said, we got lots of white walls. Let's get out the Post-it note, website, smack it on the wall. Okay. What is everything we need? Professional photos, smack that on the wall. T-shirts, smack that on the wall. Copywriting, smack that on the wall, right? And like boom, 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 right. Okay, now we've got to show our tools. Not, Alex Hormozi says, anybody can tell you about their product or service, but only a few who actually show it become the kings of industry.
What you didn't see, because obviously you left and I was still doing a little bit of work there, is the energy that they had when they were actually applying the Post-it notes to the wall, Chris and Josh.
Yes.
All right, we're going to put this one. Yeah, okay. Like it was like an unseen energy that I haven't seen there before. And they were just literally just smashing up Post-it notes, And
we said, you only get to take that Post-it note off the wall when the job is done. Otherwise, it serves as a visual reminder of the fucking work that you got to do. And it's still there on the wall, not hidden in a fucking to-do list that, you don't see. And I said, remember this, out of sight, out of mind. And we are a startup. We can't have anything out of mind. So we've got 6 products. We need 3 customer implementations of each of those products documented in world standard reels that are compelling, that are interesting to watch, that in under 90 seconds, anybody could walk in here and go, what's that product? And we'll say, let me show you 3 implementations of it, because in less than 90 seconds, you'll understand what the product is. So we've got the 6 products. We've got, customer names now being added under each of the products. And then I said, it's not done till we've set a shoot time in the calendar. We've booked Jansen to come in and shoot it. You've got a rough idea of the script and it's actually shot. So over there is that. And then there's money, outstanding money collected. That's going to go behind the whiteboard there. But everybody that owes us money, I want those on the wall too, so that you can see all this money that's outstanding. Make sure you go get the money. Make sure the website work's being done. Make sure that videos are happening. And all of a sudden, there's Post-it notes everywhere. And the boys are just like, oh my God, this is right. Let's attack this.
Holy shit, we got a shit ton of work to do.
Oh my God, it's 4 a.m. and I'm still here.
I'm trying to find a photo. I remember we turned our dining room, we were renting, and we turned our dining room into our office. And we've literally got like 50 Post-it notes all over the wall. I'm trying to find that photo. It just reminded me of it.
Underrated, cheapest business strategy ever. But for my coaching client yesterday, we had a checklist of things. You need to now go to Arcads, open an account, put your credit card in, buy 10 credits, and produce your first video. You need to go to ChatGPT and start writing some scripts. And for one client, another client, I actually literally made him an ARCADS video at the end of the call. I just typed in a little script about his product or service. And then 3 minutes after the call, I sent him a video testimonial of his future client, giving him a testimonial for his product. And he was just like, oh my God, because all of a sudden it made it real for him. So once you've got those Post-it notes and those tasks, then it's contained. It's not this sort of, endless unknown.
But it's about like moving that first domino. Sometimes, we're visual learners and it's just, adding some color to it and it's just changing your state and, just gets that first domino moving.
For your point about people don't know where to start, I'll tell you where to start. Just go to unemployable.com.au/coaching and fucking then you can have Adam for an hour, Eric for an hour, 8 times a year, and you can ask all the questions you like, have it all worked out, then you're still going to guess what you do. Get off your fucking ass and go and do it. So if you're totally stuck, pay for coaching. I mean, the amount of money I've spent on coaching, I think last week we said, I've been a student of digital marketing, business, and thousands I've spent on courses in 2007 and before. Like, go spend the money. If you don't know where the answer is, someone's got it. Go pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other way to do it too.
My first sales manager, he said to me, he goes, Mark, all I've ever wanted was a honest week's wage for a hard day's work.
Yeah, that's a good one.
An honest week's wage
for a hard
day's work. Yeah, got it.
And there's nothing more satisfying than taking something off a list or pulling a Post-it note off the wall, knowing that you've actually done it and completed it and on to the next one,
Yeah, and it also stops the bullshit. Because, if you don't have the result you want and you got a bunch of Post-it notes staring back on you from you on the wall, then that's why you don't have the results you want. That's it.
Don't forget about the mirror.
Yeah, well, it's like if you said, the body I want is on the other side of all those workout Post-it notes that I've just got to take them down one by one by one by one, and then at the end of the year, if all the Post-it notes are still there, that's why. All the rest is a story.
And then I think if you go back to these Post-it notes as well, like, because we've done some planning sessions along that. That's right. All right. What's the number one constraint? What's the one that moves the needle the most the first? And then you prioritize. And if you had all 6 up and go, now we've got them all up. What's 1, 2? Okay, let's move around and go. Correct. That's 1, and go fucking deep on that. If you don't know the answer, go find the answer how to knock off 1. And I said last week, you can only push so far on a project because it might involve 2 or 3 other parties. I'll say that again. And okay, cool. Now go to number 2. Well, you're waiting for number 1 and 3 and 4 and 5, and you are spinning all the plates. So prioritization, I think, is the number one thing that holds people back because they like to do the fucking easiest thing first and the shittiest task that has no real needle moving result, which holds everything else up.
I'm the first person that said, when we've had guests on the show, look at what this guest has been able to do. What's your excuse, right? I get all that, but we're all 40, 50 years old, been in business for a long time. And there's people out there that are 20, 25, 29 years old watching the show and they've lost 30 grand on their venture and they've lost, they're at a different stage to us. And I guess what I keep trying to get to, and I think this is what these conversations are great for, is the mindset behind.
A lot of when you're young, the things that are important to you, what your business card looks like and your logo and stuff like that. When I sat with Grant Cardone and we pitched him on an idea and we did a beautiful job of all the collaterals, he goes, man, I'm so impressed by the collaterals. I've never had a logo. Look at his logo, 10X. It was done it doesn't matter. When you're young, you focus on the things that make you feel good and how it's going to be to give you a pretty little business card, instead of
you're telling the story of me, right? I remember this building company I tried to do in the car, because you don't know better, right?
Yeah.
Man, some of the best business people that I know are the most low key, no logos, and they're just absolutely killing.
Test that idea.
Some of them, it's just unbelievable.
And talk about, they say about, I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing. Failing. That was that wasn't that long ago, and we didn't have product market fit and spent a fuck ton on logos and design. So it happens to everyone.
And like you mentioned, just then, Mark, about, I've lost 30 grand. The reason why a lot of people are losing 30 grand is because they fill a 20-foot container with stock that they don't even know the market wants yet.
Yeah.
And this is why you need to implement the things that Adam was speaking 100%. About earlier and going, let me spend 3 grand, right, rather than 30 and find out in 7 days.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss has a saying, what would it look like if it was easy? Or another one is, how could we find out in 30 days on the important, essential things that I'm relying on being right about? Like Grant says, again, he says, it's not what I know that's right that scares me. It's what I think I know that's right that's wrong. And that's the scary part. Like with you, Spide, what we thought we knew was wrong. And that's the part. And so it costs you. As I always say, a failed business is far-reaching consequences. It's a fine if you catch it with a $3,000 test, like I'm talking about. But if you don't, like we just heard a story this week of some clients, not clients, people who sought our advice, and they're at well over $1 million in the hole. And they
Well over.
And we told them stop, and then they went, no, we're going to do another thing, and they just spent another better part of 100,000 and lost that too. And the impact of that for somebody, whether it's their money or investors' money, that's a lot of money, right? That can cause relationship breakdowns, stress, sickness, illness, divorce. Also, there's not a victimless crime when a business fails. Not that it's a crime, but you know what I mean? It's not a harmless thing. It's just why you got to be vigilant.
Yeah, and you've got to you've got to make sure that you're following something that you're really curious about and that you can sustain the blows when they come, right? If you're not that interested in it and then the blows come or the failures come, you're going to say, oh, there you go. I see, I told you so, right? Like, I love macro markets and finance, and I've had my ass handed to me in markets so many times, but I keep coming back because I'm so curious about it. So I'm willing to take the hits. And, I'm starting to learn to take the hits in business as well, because it's something, like I said, it's, I've been trying back and forth, but you've got to be curious enough about it. There's got to be a strong enough why that when shit does go bad, you're willing to keep going back for more.
You can't be scared to lose.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my daughter, when she goes to her soccer and they don't win. Like, you can't be scared to lose. Showing up, you got to show up for your team, give it your all. Some days you're going to do better, some days you're not. And we're not, like you look at Bitcoin and the markets and the property market. We all think we know, but we don't know.
No,
right?
That's right.
And I have one serious question for James. Are you going to implement the post-it note strategy for your dating life?
Oh man, I'm what you.
I have a picture. I have a visual
James,
of James's living room.
Eric, post-it notes are supposed to stick.
Nationalities, age requirements.
There's so many things I could. There's so many things I can say there, Eric. But I think we will get taken off the air for them.
Do you have enough wall space?
Oh my God, James, we're just ruining your chances of anybody nice.
I think I do a good enough job of my own, mate. Don't worry about it.
James doesn't care at this point. He's just like, keep bringing it.
But he actually asked me for
not dating advice. That's not what I asked you for.
James is going well.
He actually asked me just before, he goes, do you have a spare Stanley knife? I go, why? He goes, mine's way too blunt. A couple too many notches.
Oh God.
Said he had a mural on the
What a way to finish the
a Balinese carving.
Is that Ben Balinese? No.
Could be.
Oh my God. All right. Well, that said, there's another great pod. Thanks for bringing it back to the toilet to finish. I love it. What else? Is there anything we need to mention? No, Richard, we're dropping the commercial in about the we're dropping the commercial in about the AI seminar. It's interesting. We promoted the AI event. We're doing we're calling it an emergency briefing only because this stuff's moving so quickly. And if you're not if you are in business and you're not doing what I'm talking about here, and you guys have said about going and actually using these tools instead of just having an opinion about them, the guys and girls that are using them right now are going to be so far ahead of you, especially when we're so close now to indiscernibility, that they're going to start doing stuff that is going to seem obvious in hindsight, and you're going to go, oh my God, like, yeah, I agree. You can't use that as a testimonial. Facebook won't allow you to put up some bullshit testimonial, but they will allow you to use it for things on your website, like, this is how this thing works, or this is how that thing works, or customer follow-up, or, all sorts of, there's so many applications, and the platforms here will iterate. And so all I'm saying is we did this webinar. We haven't done it. We're doing it shortly next week. By the time this comes out, it'll be next week. And all we did was one mention on the pod, and it's like just been smashed. Like we're trying to cap it at 100 people. Good luck with that. Just got absolutely smashed, well overbooked. We're going to run one more week and then we'll open it up probably for another second, maybe third, but we're trying to keep them to a small size. But again, it just shows the power of this audience that's growing. You guys, we're at 3,000.
3738.
3,700, 3,800 subs, which is tiny in the world of YouTube. But and I've sort of mentioned this to anybody creating content, that's still a lot of people. If you saw them in a room, that's a lot. That's a big audience, right? So often we look at like the Stephen Bartletts of the world that have just crossed 7 million subs and go, oh my God, I'm never going to start a pod. There's huge value in just a small but real audience if you serve them. And you know, that pod is an example of it. So if you're interested, make sure you do go put your name down. We will do a webinar for you with Chris, but we're trying to keep them just a little bit smaller so that we can actually have Q&A at the end and not just this big mess. So, you know, if you want to book for that, make sure you do. There's no sales pitch at the end. It's just an hour and a half, 2 hours with Chris and myself, and we're going to show you these actual tools that we are building in Early Bird, and they're really, I mean, they are really powerful and simple, and we're now getting really good at showcasing them in real businesses.
And that's on August 21st, Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Correct. Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. It's going to be a great night. It's been overwhelmingly oversold. So that's good. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Again, big takeaways from today's pod. Don't just listen, do. The results are on the other side of doing, not on the other side of listening. So you've got to do in order to change your life. But we do appreciate you listening nonetheless. Make sure you drop a comment if this has been a helpful session for you. And please like, share, subscribe, do all those things that you know what to do so that we can grow the pod and get a bigger audience. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Unemployable. If you'd like to watch another episode, just click there.